Namaste, and thank you all for the support because today is the 90th episode of AMA. आज AMA की 90वीं संस्करण है और इसके लिए आप सभी लोगों को इतने दिन तक हमारा साथ देने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आइए चलते हैं आज के AMA पर। RPS, Hindu gurus have made us napunsak. Youth needs to change dietary habits and start thinking like Muslims. I am in Canada. Hindus here are selfish. Well, that's too much of a statement. I don't think we need to generalize as starkly as that. There's so many factors that have made people napunsak, if at all. Of course, I would put even a caveat even on that. So that's too general a statement. Next. Saffronist. Hindutva in BJP is a personal choice who likes Yogi ji in Himanta Vishwa Sharma. BJP officially follows Gandhian socialism. Did we catch the wrong bus in 2014? No, we caught a bus towards our destination. This is not the bus going to the final destination. So we will change it at the next junction if necessary. Hindu Ekta, and Nupur filed defamation case against the judges. No, because they didn't write anything in the order. You can file a defamation only if there is something in the order. They can always say that what we were saying were our conversations, and in conversations, a lot of things get said. So they very cleverly relayed the message and also saved themselves, kept themselves safe from any accusation. Very smart, actually. Next. Abhishek, incident of Udaipur provides government excellent opportunity to push NRC. People are angry with followers of peaceful religion. They are realizing that peacefuls put Ummah above the country. Well, I don't know because today's announcement in the national executive was Tripti Karan. So, unless I understand fully what Tripti Karan means, because fulfillment, as far as Islam is concerned, its fulfillment in India is complete Islamization of country, converting everybody to Islam, and for Christianity, converting everybody to Christianity. That is the definition of fulfillment as far as Islam and Christianity goes. So, what is the definition of fulfillment for Modi ji? That I will have to find out first before even contemplating that he will go for NRC. Abhishek, incident of Amravati must be debated and discussed widely. This has potential to wake up secular Hindus. Well, you can wake up people who are sleeping, but you can't wake up people who are pretending to sleep. Though, of course, a lot of people who are actually sleeping would have woken up automatically. But people who are pretending to sleep, you can't do much about them. Like Gandhi was. He was pretending to sleep. Next. Tejas Kothari, please call Pushpinder ji on the issue. Well, I have informed people many times that Pushpinder ji does not respond to my calls. Therefore, I am not in a position to call him. Indefensible. Namaste, Guruji. Sorry, I know it's quite frustrating for you. Again, reminder for UPSC book list query. Yes, I think we are at fault and we will try and repair this as quickly as possible. Shashank Bhardwaj, can the statement or conversation be questioned? Of course, it can be questioned, and we are questioning it. In fact, a lot of judges and a lot of other intellectuals, they're quite upset about it, and you might soon find a statement, a major statement coming through. Not a communist. Kataria ji, Shekhawat ji, Punia ji, or again the Queen. Queen has no chance. Kataria ji above 75. So that leaves Shekhawat ji, Kataria ji. And there is one more person that all of you conveniently forget. His name is Shri Om Birla. Rekha Rao, is there no way the lordships can expunge or delete their ill-opined remarks in face of the social media tirade against them? No, they have not recorded anything. So what is there to expunge? You only expunge recorded remarks. So since they have not recorded anything, so you can't tell them anything. They will just tell you to go and look at their order. And they say that judges speak through their judgments, judges speak through their orders. So if there is nothing written, then they have not spoken. Abhishek, I trust Modi ji and I want to give him benefit of doubt about being soft on Muslim countries. Is he feeling constrained somewhere? If he irritates them, will we suffer economic and energy issues? There is something which he faces but can't express. I think some people close to him have got compromised. They have business interests and he is too obliged to them. That's what I think. Personally, he may not be having much, but then he has this great predilection to what is called getting awards and getting recognition from abroad and hugging people. I've not seen him hugging anyone within India. So why does he have to go and hug everyone around internationally? There seems to be some deep insecurity within, and that may be the consequence of the hounding and pounding that he received while he was the chief minister. But this is not the way a mature politician who has braved so many storms should come across. And he should not be led by James Bond. He should be leading James Bond. And what can the Middle East do? They can't do a damn thing. They need the customers. If India refuses to buy from them and says that we will buy all our supply from Russia, where will they go? All their budget will come collapsing. India buys 20% of the oil in the market. Slayer, PP Guruji, Ashirvadam, has the Supreme Kotha gone rogue to the point of no return, and they too got emboldened by capitulation of Marde Mujahid. They've literally given license to jihadis to behead Hindus. How will we survive? So we will have to organize self defense. What else? And if we have to organize our self defense groups, then so be it. Uma Shruti, Namaskar Sanjay sir. Thank you for all the awareness you and your team is bringing in. Need your blessings. Certainly, you have my blessings, Umaji. Thank you very much. Sangeeta Sharma, can punishing by woman Jallad disqualify them for Jannat? I guess so, yes. That's a good point. It will probably disqualify them from Jannat, for Jannat. Next. कृष्णा रहमानी, ओवैसी, पीएफआई, किसी पर रोक नहीं, मदरसा बैन, पॉपुलेशन कंट्रोल बिल, यूसीसी, मंदिर अंडर गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल, क्या है ये? जज पार्टी ज्वाइन क्यों नहीं करते? अब भाई, अब आप जजेस को तो कह रहे हो, लेकिन जो आपके नेता हैं उनको भी कुछ कहिए। ये तो सब उनके हाथ में भी है ना। जजेस को आप बहुत ज़्यादा पावर देंगे तो फिर इस तरह से करेंगे वो। आप स्वयं कुछ करना नहीं चाहते। सब कुछ जो है वो जुडिशरी के कंधे पे बंदूक रख के लग चलाना चाहते हैं, तो फिर जुडिशरी भाव खाएगी। How has Rahmani escaped law? Why no FIR till now? Well, I guess his video has been taken out, and moreover, you need the full video for his mocking to appear, because I have seen a clip in which he speaks just before Nupur did, and in that he is just reading out a sher, a couplet. So, and that video has been removed. So I don't know how to file the FIR. Somebody has a full video, and we get to watch it. Only then we can determine how to file an FIR against Rahmani. नॉट अ कम्युनिस्ट सर। हमारे मोमिन भाई खतना क्यों कराते हैं? सुन्नत है साहब। हालांकि ये अभी तक की सुन्नत का हमें कुछ पता नहीं है। कहते हैं कि साहब ये सुन्नत है, ये अ, हुजूर ने किया रहा होगा, इसलिए सबको करना है। लेकिन मुझे तो कहीं मिला नहीं इसका रेफरेंस खास। किसी को मिला हो तो कृपया बताइएगा। कृष्णा 295 ए ही हटा दो, वापस तो ले सकते हैं शब्द जज। जो शब्द उन्होंने कहे नहीं रिकॉर्ड पर, उसे वापस लेने का क्या प्रश्न उठता है? और 295 ए हाँ हटाई जा सकती है, लेकिन हमारे जो जिनका तृप्तिकरण करना है वो तो नहीं मानेंगे ना। फिर उनका तृप्तिकरण नहीं होगा, और तृप्तिकरण अब नया उद्देश्य है। Shri Harsh, sir, can the law minister take action against those secular Sharia judges? So many Hindu gurus always ask us to practice tolerance and patience. Why? Yes, even Bhagwan Krishna asked Arjun to practice tolerance and patience. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhe siddheyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So he is asking him to be sambuddhi, that is, that whatever he does, if he is fighting, if he is entering into a battle, if he is entering into a war, if he is killing somebody, all of that you should do consciously and not impulsively. That is the meaning of patience and tolerance. Patience and tolerance doesn't mean that you tolerate the intolerance. That what action you have to take against the intolerance, that you should think about it, take patiently, and execute it without getting too much. Involvement is not the correct word. The best word, of course, is in Sanskrit, lipt, without becoming lipt in it, uh, without becoming suffused in it. Next. Shashank Bharadwaj, like in 80s, regional and national parties came to light for Islamic appeasement. Do you see same thing coming again in Sanatan and Hindutva, specifically due to BJP's ditch to its Hindu voters? I haven't seen any sign of that as yet. I can't see any sign of that. Not as yet, certainly. But any smart party should capitalize on it, because the space on the right is completely vacant. The BJP has given up its space on the right so much that there's nothing left there. It's completely vacant. It's completely open for taking. OBB, thank you. Saffronist, a lot of leftist propaganda is being spread in Karnataka regarding the fight between Shivaji Maharaj and Belwadi Mallama. Would be great if Sandeep Balakrishna sir shed some light on this. Okay, noted. कृष्ण सर वो कमेंट बीजेपी के लिए थे, इन्होंने किया ही क्या? I guess so. Next. Sneezus, do you see split in BJP in future like Shiv Sena? Not till 2024. Slayer, sir, is the Maharashtra turn of events a Fadnavis masterstroke or Bapu 2.0 masterstroke or UT masterstroke to get back into NDA without losing face? It certainly is not a UT masterstroke. It definitely is not. 100% not. About the two, I don't know. I think the masterstrokes, uh, Fadnavis cannot act alone. So he cannot be given credit single handedly. Definitely, Bapu 2.0 would be involved. Next. कोटी इन गधों जिहादियों को कोई समझाए, ये कुरान दुनिया भर में जो मिलती है ये नकली कुरान है. Fake Moses, which never existed, is mentioned 136 times and Muhammad only 4 times. Comments. This is what our ex-Muslims keep saying all the time. Ask yours. Go to Sachwala channel and listen. That's what he's saying. And if you say, if you watch a very popular episode, I think it's done almost 700,000 views. And that is Muhammad Wad Ka Sach. Muhammad Wad Ka Sach will tell you everything. Once again, reminding everyone that you can ask questions both via Super Chat as well as through WhatsApp. Link for WhatsApp is given below, and you can see it scroll below the screen. Next. Slayer, sir, what is the true version of Khilji defeating Mongol fabrication? I haven't found any corroboration, so it does look like some cooked up story. Next. For T-Surgy, one confusion: who is more superior, Arab or Turk? After the destruction of Baghdad by Hulagu Khan, when Mongols went back, Mongols didn't go back, they ruled Baghdad. And in the fourth generation, they converted to Islam, and that was the end. They also got Turks basically became the flag bearers of Islam, and Mecca Medina was under Ottoman for hundreds of years. Yes, Mecca Medina was under them right from the 16th century. Next. Slayer, sir, how much the theory of early humans migrating from Africa to India holds considering they do not have R1A1 genome? Or is it that they resided on this piece of land before the tectonic shifts happened, which split the land mass? Well, that is not really my field of study, but then whoever I read, I find everybody almost unanimous on the out of Africa theory that the most ancient, the most ancient human beings actually moved out of Africa. That is the ruling theory, and then they came to India, and it is from India that everybody went everywhere else. Next. Slayer. So how much the theory of this happened? Next one. Slayer. So FCRA amended to allow NRI relatives to send 10 lakh from earlier limit of 1 lakh. I'm feeling something sinister is hatching, or is it just to fill the coffers of Bhajpa from its international donors? I think we we need to wait for the whole thing to unfold. It has just happened yesterday, so let's wait a little bit. Slayer. So recent spate of investors' exodus from emerging markets has contributed to the fall of rupee and widening the fiscal deficit and shooting up inflation as well. GUI is curbing gold and oil imports too. Is this the dilemma, or rather ineptness of Bapu 2.0 is unable to wade through? No, I don't think it has anything to do with the ineptitude of Bapu 2.0. Bapu 2.0 has handled the economy rather well. I mean, I don't want, we shouldn't criticize him for everything. We should criticize him for the one thing that he's failing on, and that is internal security, and he's failing Hindus. So that's one thing that you need to criticize. But the things that he has done well, it's all right. And India's Indian currency is doing better than most other currencies because of inflation and because of the rates being raised by the Fed. All the money is getting sucked into the US, and actually, rupee is appreciating with respect to other currency. That is, rupee's fall is less compared to the fall of other major currencies. And that includes currencies like yen, and that includes currencies like euro and pound and Australian dollar. So you should look at this from that point of view as far as the currency is concerned. And oil, of course, it's all because of that Ukraine invasion that has again been brought about by America, this stupid Biden. So it's a global scenario. These are global factors at play. And we know that because the economies are all interlinked, the global factors will affect. Abhilash Vaiji, how can common man fight against jihad? Common man can fight against jihad by spreading awareness within his circle. Next. J.K. Krishna, 2050 will Muslims be 20% of India? What solution? What the projections that I am reading, the scientific projections that I am reading, all of them tell us that the Muslim population will stabilize around 17-18%. And the solution, of course, is that we indulge in Gharwapsi at a large scale and reduce this 17-18% to very manageable proportion. Why should they be 17-18%? All the people who were forcibly converted can be brought back, and for that we need a social movement. Next. AAS, BJP has monopoly. Unless there is another strong Hindu party, BJP will slowly become like Congress. So start a new party, we will be with you. I don't have the wherewithal. Starting a party needs huge resources. Unless you are doing only for the sake of laundering money. A lot of people do that. The number of parties that are floated only for laundering money, black money, are immense. विष्णु शरण सिन्हा जी धन्यवाद थैंक यू Tejas Kothari saw the video of power pradarshan by chanting Hanuman Chalisa in Jaipur. Do you think there will be any effect on the government or on jihadi on the showcase? You see, if it has effect on Hindus, we should be aiming to make Hindus of Hindus first, as Swami Chinmayananda used to say. That when he used to be asked whether he aims to convert Christians and Muslims to Hinduism, he used to say that I first want to convert Hindus into Hinduism. So let's first spread this word far and wide and let everybody start chanting Hanuman Chalisa at least. I mean, that is a good thing that is happening. So let's let Hindus become Hindus first. And once Hindus become Hindus, there is no government that can ignore you. Akshay, is it possible that Nepal becomes Hindu Rashtra? I think they're actively at it. Next. सर ये कलकत्ता पुलिस के लुकआउट नोटिस का क्या? Please give the context. I am not aware what it is about. Next. Sachin Bhatt, P. Goel, taking Allah's name during puja is blasphemy. Well, he is not doing it in public. And in any case, this is very personal, and there is no concept of blasphemy, fortunately, in the Sanatana Dharma. Simply no concept of blasphemy. There are instances, in fact, that recounted that these charvakas they used to sit in the mandir and do their preaching in a corner. The charvaka is one who says that Vedas are not the pramanas. Next. RM. Sanjay sir, is there any way that 56 can be downsized from within BJP and Yogi be promoted? Or do we have to wait for 56 to become incoherent and unpresentable due to senility? Well, RM, and that is something that is in the womb of future, and that's not something that can be speculated easily. And as far as the present situation is concerned, I don't think he's going anywhere, and it doesn't seem to be on the verge of senility. Whatever he is doing out of vanity, not due to senility. Snijis, Pak facing severe food oil power crisis, may be slipping in the direction of Sri Lanka, Lebanon. Will it impact their military? It will impact their military. The military is already hard pressed for a sophisticated weaponry. They don't have, they haven't bought a sophisticated aircraft for 20 years, and they haven't bought sophisticated artillery for another 15 years. And their missiles and all, they're all third rate. They are borrowed from China, repainted, and used here. There's very little indigenous research. They're good at engineering what is already there, but beyond that, there isn't much that they are adding to their weaponry. All they have got is, of course, a lot of sophisticated stuff that the Americans left in Afghanistan that is getting pirated there. But then they don't know how to train on that kind of weaponry. Next, Ram sir, Rudra Tripathi, do you think Nupur case is similar to Shahbano? Well, it can become similar to Shahbano in impact, in the sense that it could be the inflection point for BJP. BJP doesn't play it right, then it could actually start the slide of BJP. BJP should be very careful about it, very careful about its impact. It is not taking very seriously, it is actually underestimating the impact that it has had on the psyche of BJP's voters. Aditya Pandey. So, wish me good luck for my upcoming exam. Best of luck, Aditya. Do well. विकास वर्मा सर, क्या जस्टिस सूर्यकांत और पार्टी वाला पर उनकी टिप्पणियों के लिए महाभियोग का प्रस्ताव लाने का आधार बनता है या नहीं? नहीं, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपने जजमेंट में, रिकॉर्ड में तो कुछ लिखा ही नहीं. नेक्स्ट. अल्लाह का गल्ला. As per my understanding of Allah being involved with both genders, was he from LGBTQ community? Well, I'll forward your question to a mufti. The point is that you will have to reveal your correct name. Only then I can forward it to a mufti. Because such complicated matters can be answered only by a person who is authorized to issue fatwa. Romi Dixit, in the earlier session, Prakhar said that Gehlot spoke only 19 seconds on Kanhaiya. Modi did not even bother to speak. How will he counter it? Yes, I agree with you on this. Modi doesn't speak, it might hurt his constituency because the next time he aims to get 15% votes from the Muslims. Can you imagine? Right now, BJP has 37% voted got. NDA got about 46% vote. And the 37% of BJP, they wouldn't have got even 1% vote. Now they aim to increase it to 15%. So they are ignoring you. Can you imagine what will happen if they follow this suicidal policy? I have this from within. I have my sources. Mahesh Saranayak. Sir, राजपाल किलर इल्मुद्दीन की मज़ार की तरह आपको लगता है कि इंडिया में भी जल्दी ही 2 मज़ार बनेंगी और गवर्नमेंट नतमस्तक होकर उनकी बॉडीज फैमिली को सौंप देगी? Very likely. I agree with you. The way the governments are going, all governments, including the central government, that is the most likely scenario. Shashank Bharadwaj, what is the best way democratically to bring government and system down to knees and respect Hindu sentiments and lives? Will tax disobedience help? Well, you've seen how this government is brought down to its knees. You saw the farm movement, you saw the Shaheen Bagh movement. Both of them brought this government down to its knees. There was another movement that brought the government down to its knees, and that was the uh, Savarna movement in Madhya Pradesh and in Gujarat, the Hardik Patel movement. Those were basically movements against denial of privileges to Hindus, especially economically well off Hindus. So ultimately, the government capitulated and brought in the EWS. The EWS was brought because of the Hindu anger. But even that they didn't learn at first. Only after they lost Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh that they learned the lesson. And then they made the correction. Next. राकेश वर्मा जी धन्यवाद. Jai Bharat, Jai Punjab. Request you to find out Nupur Sharma born in Delhi's Punjabi Hindu or not, with open bias. I say jihadi torture of Punjabi Hindu hurts deeply to me, as in 1947, 50, 66, 1980s, 1990s by Khalistanis. Well, actually, I don't have any source that can determine her pedigree, but since you say, I will try and ask around. Sahil, namaste, sir. What is the relevance of Article 30 and 30A when there is Equal Educational Opportunity Act of 1974 in our country? Let us be very clear about it. There is no Article 30A. You can just Google a copy of the Constitution and go through it. There's nothing called Article 30A. And Article 30 gives special privileges, I should say that special protection to religious and linguistic minorities to set up their institutions. Now, it's very well that the religious minorities have set up their institutions and got those protections. What prevents linguistic minorities from doing it? Nothing prevents except insouciance, sheer laziness, or maybe the profit motive. That's why they don't want to set it up. Because as far as the RTE Act is concerned, that is in the realm of elementary education, first to eighth, there is a clear exemption given to Vedic Pathshalas. Nobody wants to set them up. Why grudge people setting up madrasas? You also have an equal opportunity to set up Vedic Pathshalas. Why don't you do it? So I think this whole question needs to be nuanced better. Slayer, sir, I have shared a video of an Indo-German couple who were badly harassed in their society in Jaipur, and Lord Ganeshji Murti outside their house was broken by their Hindu neighbors. Please have a look at the video and if possible highlight their plight on the local judge and police are harassing them instead by conniving with the society talks. Well, if you know them, you can give them the reference to Jaipur Dialogues and they can contact us, because I tried to verify that video. I saw it, but I couldn't make much of a headway. Next. Qualities are Danav king's lineage. These are descendants of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Virochan Mahabali Kalanemi Jr. between 11,000 BC and 10,000 BC. Okay, thank you for the information. Next. How many Hindu spiritual leaders are facing prosecution and how many non-Hindu? I'm sorry, I don't have ready statistics. Next. Simanta Das, joke of the month. Muhammad is the prophet and Rasul of peace, and if anyone doesn't accept it, then we will kill them by beheading them. Yes, that's the irony. Who is the real Gandhi 2.0, NM or Mohan Bhagwat? A stiff competition. Sandeep Shukla ji, धन्यवाद, thank you. RM has had 56 covered, not sacked Nupur. Damage would have been lesser, your opinion? Yes, there would have been hardly any damage. The things would have died down. Things would have died down, and some stray incidents would have been taken care of people like Yogi without any trouble. He has created difficult situation for everyone else. And even these judges, what they have said, they're only following what the government of India has done and what our James Bond has been parroting around. Next. Krishna, lookout notice for Nupur Sharma by Kolkata police. Lookout notice is issued to international points, and that lookout notice. Okay, that's rather funny. Next. Next was, I think we missed one. Seema Verma. Can you take us to the previous question? In, I think we missed two questions. Please, desk. Let's go back to Seema Verma and Dishant Chaudhary. After this, okay. Indian National Army, Nupur. भारत वेद प्रकाश कोठे के दलों के हिसाब से सब खतना करा लो. जय श्री राम. Arjun Sharma, is IAS a good career option for service? It is definitely a good career option under the present circumstances, no doubt about it. For work where I can make a good money, I mean, good money what? Depends on what your definition of good money is. Compared to all other government services, it gives you the best salary. But I also want to serve India. Thank you. Well, you can serve India also. Arun Kataria, legal way to challenge what Surikant said? No legal way. He said something that was totally off the record, and therefore we can challenge it and we can criticize it openly. There's nothing that prevents us from criticizing what he said because it has been reported. If he has this position that what is being reported has not been said, then he has to call in those people who are reporting his remarks and actually give them a harangue or give them a beating or give them a notice. श्रीमंत दास संजय जी, आप ये खैर मनाएं कि मियाँ लॉर्ड ने ये नहीं कहा कि ये भारत नहीं मुगलिस्तान है और एक इस्लामिक स्टेट है और इस्लामिक स्टेट में हिंदू सांस भी नहीं ले सकता. चलिए, गनीमत है, आपकी बात से सहमत हूँ मैं. स्मॉल मर्सीज. Namaste, sir. Why BJP didn't choose Arif Khan, sir, for president's post? BJP is really looking confused in this situation. It's a non-consequential post. So they chose what suited them politically the best. I have no issue. Draupadi Murmu is a good candidate. Draupadi Murmu is a good choice. Abhinag. Pranam Guruji, last week I was in Jaipur for some business. Beautiful and clean city. Loved it, but that to see that e-rickshaw business and the non-veg food business is completely taken over by Harat. It does. Being a non-vegetarian, it was difficult to eat veg all day, but did it anyway. Please tell your Hindu groups to open up Jhatka chicken and fish shops as well as restaurants. Thanks. There are some shops that have been opened. If you had asked me, I would have given you reference. Next. Sir, how do you see the future of Islam in India? Will it get more isolated and sidelined? Actually, if you see from the 80s till now, it has definitely got more isolated. It has also got more militant, but definitely it has got more isolated. Do you see its dissolution to some extent due to Hindutva? We can see the dissolution, but then the Hindutva has to get its act together. Right now, it is, mm, I should say, too diffused. But I can see a consolidation happening. Next. श्रीमंत दास संजय जी, क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि तस्लीम रहमानी का चेहरा इस्तिंजा किया हुआ ढेला शरीफ की तरह दिखता है? मुझे तो चुसे हुए आम की तरह दिखता है। ढेला शरीफ में तो फिर थोड़ा बहुत जिन्स होगा। नेक्स्ट। Abhishek ji, Hindus should avoid paying taxes now onwards if this money is going to be used for madrasa scholarship to create more jihadis. This government system needs to listen voice of Hindus, else we need to boycott the system. देखते हैं कैसा आगे बढ़ता है भारत without Hindus. We can understand your anguish, and a lot of us feel likewise. And let's see how it goes. Otherwise, we will have to devise some methods. It cannot be allowed to go on like this. Next. Ram, Hindus voted for Modi and gave his party 303 MPs, but this guy lacks the killer instinct to implement various laws like removing government control of temples, judicial reforms, UCC, etc. He did try to introduce Farm Bill, land reform, CA, etc., but did not implement due to various reasons. This guy has a low inferiority complex and very egoistic. He needs someone to keep boosting his ego. Most of his ministers, except Gadkari, Jaishankar, Rajnath, are typical yes men. He needs only such people. I think you said it. It's a beautiful analysis. Beautiful analysis. Very good. Next. Abhishek G. No jurisdiction is bigger than life of Hindus. No constitution is bigger than justice of Hindus. I don't understand people say constitution में ये लिखा है वो लिखा है. Constitution तो आदमी थोड़े ही है. Everything needs to change from constitution to jurisdiction. I don't exactly know what you mean by from constitution to jurisdiction. That doesn't really sound practical because that will introduce too much subjectivity into the system. Even if the constitution is implemented properly and equitably, I think there should not be a problem. Next. Meena Hindu, new order came from judges to ban SM platforms which criticizes them. No, not an order, just a wish. Next. Next, please. Rahul Padak, Jai Hind, sir. How can left liberals so blatantly defend whitewash acts of Islamic terrorism? What are the reasons? Oh, well, their deep felt sense of superiority. That's the reason. कर्माकर संजय जी सादर प्रणाम ग्रहण करें। अगर सभी मित्र संगठनों का एक ही लक्ष्य है हिंदुओं की जागृति और हिंदू राष्ट्र की स्थापना हो तो इन विभिन्न संगठनों को अपना सांगठनिक ढांचा अटूट रखते हुए समस्त संगठनों का प्रतिनिधित्व करने वाला एक केंद्रीय संगठन बनाना चाहिए जो कि प्राथमिक रूप से पीड़ित हिंदू को रक्षा करने व कानूनी सहायता प्रदान करने के माध्यम से शुरू करें और चिंतन प्रक्रिया शुरुआत कर सके। मैं आपसे सहमत हूँ, पूर्णतः सहमत हूँ। नेक्स्ट, निशांत कुमार जी थैंक यू, विवेक कुमार जी थैंक यू। Nishant Kumar ji, sir, I want all Hindus to unite on one platform. Not possible. There can be a federation, but for everybody to unite on one platform is neither possible nor even desirable. And don't depend on any political party safeguards. Please say something and appeal every Hindu to boycott Muslims. That we've been doing. That we've been doing a lot. Next. Agent Smith. Seems like BJP have not learnt anything from Vajpayee's government's failure. Seems BJP are too confident of Hindu votes. As per now, my vote is for Nota. A lot of people are saying that, and the BJP must take that into account. Next. Shivam Pram Sanjay Gurudev. चकूबा जी to आंसर तो देना ही पड़ेगा जब स्टेट जिम्मी हो जाए। गोपाल पाठा जैसे महापुरुषों की लीडरशिप की आज के समय में नीड है। अधर्म कैसे जीत सकता है? धर्म युद्ध के लिए शास्त्र तो चाहिए शस्त्र के साथ। सहमत, आपसे सहमत। नेक्स्ट, when India split, Islamic country created Iran, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Do we see more splits coming after the support of Supreme Court? I don't see more splits coming. There will be hard times, but we will win the day. Next, शिवम प्रणाम संजय गुरुदेव जी, तो हो गया डन। नेक्स्ट, हम्टी सर, अगर उदयपुर के लिए नूपुर शर्मा जिम्मेदार है तो इस हिसाब से राइट ब्रदर्स हु इन्वेंटेड प्लेन 9/11 के जिम्मेदार होंगे। हाँ बिल्कुल होंगे, राइट ब्रदर्स से भी। नेक्स्ट, Martian, most of the time Hindus are victim of terrorist attacks. Can we develop a predictive analysis tool using artificial intelligence based on the pattern of actions of terrorists? Can be done. It can be done. Definitely it can be done. Next. Plant and Planet Pro Khalistan Simranjeet Singh Maan won the Lok Sabha seat. Is this an indication of new separatist movement? It is very much there, and it is the central government's stupid policies that are actually encouraging them. They think they can manage everything through appeasement. This is not something that appeasement is going to cure. Utpal Parikar, how do you bring in judicial reforms and collegium appointed judges will be hell-bent in striking down amendments like they did to NJAC? Republic 2.0. Please go through those episodes last year's. Sanjay Sen, Sanjay said, Pranam, do you think we are reaching a tipping point fast? We are reaching a tipping point. The political and legal systems need critical reforms. Yes, they do. I agree with you. Next. Raj Kumar Israni, if tomorrow Shinde gets more votes from Uddhav Shah Sena, will Aditya Thackeray too will resign? Let's see. Let's see. They are too shameless to resign, actually. Next. Ratan, the old name of Karakoram, which was the capital of Mongol Empire, was Karanakum. China, Mongolia, Russia, all conquered by him during his Digvijay Yatra. Thank you for the information. Next. Ashwini Kaushal, good evening, Sanjay ji. A public fund gathering for widow of Kanaya was organized. I hope that the money goes to her and her children. Yes, Kapilji went and met them and delivered the money. There's no chance of any defalcation here. Jaipur Dialogues also contributed. Next. May I, if I had my way, I would let Muslims follow Sharia law completely, even for crimes. You are mistaken. If they are made to follow Sharia law completely, then under Sharia law, no blame attaches to them if they kill kafirs. So think about it again. Next. Humpty. Sir, in 2017, I met Akhil Bharati, representative of RSS JNK. He had said RSS will free JNK. Do you think RSS is to be credited for abolition of Article 370? How much ground they hold in JNK? RSS, by the way, was opposed to removal of 370. James Bond was also opposed to removal of 370. Amit Shah did it. And because he became very popular, his wings were clipped. And after that, he has not been allowed to do anything. CAA and Article 370, that made his popularity touch sky high. And that was the reason that everything's been told to go into slumber mode. Vibhanshu Patel, Vice President of India, is not criticizing Supreme Court observations. I think contempt of court does not apply to President. If not true, then please enlighten me. They won't. They are political appointees. Next. पीयूष गोयल की पूजा में मोहम्मद आता है. जी हाँ, जी हाँ. कल हम इसके ऊपर सोच रहे हैं, कुछ छोटा मोटा शॉर्ट वॉट करेंगे. Next. AB sir, are you aware that James Bond's son has a M business partner, Indian national, living in Qatar? Check qatarbusinessman.org. Any correlation with the... Well, there are a lot of suspicions, but whenever we get hold of something pakka, we will let you know. Jaya Pishupati, what do the Paswanda Muslims say about the Nupur Sharma issue? They have condemned it. There is an official statement coming from them and condemning it. Condemning what? Condemning the Kanhaiya incident, not the Nupur Sharma incident. They have condemned the Udaipur incident. Next one is a repeat. Move on. It's a repeat. Yadvinder Singh Saini, how can Indian judiciary be reformed? It cannot be reformed. You only have to change the republic. You have to bring in Republic 2.0. जिस तरह महाराष्ट्र में फडणवीस को प्रताड़ित किया गया, क्या आपको लगता है राज्य स्तर के नेतृत्व विरोध पर उतर आएंगे और अजीब को तर्क देकर मास्टर स्ट्रोक बोला जा रहा है? ये तो इनकी तो मती मारी गई, हम क्या कर सकते हैं. बेवकूफ़ी का डिसीजन है, लेकिन ठीक है भाई. परम स्वतंत्र न सिर पर कोई. नेक्स्ट. Tejas, why were Hindus like Marathas and so many others keen on continuing to place their trust in Mughal rule in Delhi? No, they did not rule. They did not put their trust. They just made them vassals. And at that time, there was this great tradition of making vassals because it was not always possible to do centralized rule because we did not have the means of communication. So they just made them vassals. Next. Shivam sir, जब जिहाद भारत में हाईएस्ट था, we emerged from it, but now jihad is at its weakest. We are funding it via government ways or other ways. I agree with you. Why communism can't respect Sanatan Dharma and be its fault to fight the jihad? I think we have done so many episodes on this, especially with Dr. Rajiv Mishra, because communism seeks power, and for power, it has to destroy everything else. The same way as in jihad, and same way as with the Christianity. They all seek power to the exclusion of everybody else. Buddhism, Tao, Shinto is respected now. Yes, it is. I think the culture is same. It's not the same, but similar. Logic based, not belief based. Yes, similar. Why can't India follow China model? Too many questions in one. Next. Rohit, is there any plan to create exact replica of jihadwatch.com by JD mentioning jihad news in Indian subcontinent with all Quran? We are planning to we have started developing a database. Let's see, we'll start in a small way. Next. डीपीएस जादौन साद अशफाक अंसारी ने भी नूपुर के सपोर्ट में पोस्ट की, उसे सिर्फ 2 घंटे 2 चांटे और माफी मांगने की सजा दी गई। वहीं उमेश कोहली की जान गई और कन्हैया लाल जी का सर कलम। एक ही गुस्ताखी के लिए हिंदू का सर कलम और मुस्लिम को सिर्फ 2 चांटे। क्या हिंदू कभी इस तौला को समझ पाएंगे? समझ रहे हैं भाई, सब लोग समझ ही रहे हैं। देखिए, समझ रहे हैं ना, आप समझ गए ना, तो बाकी लोग भी समझ ही रहे हैं। आपकी बात में वजन है, डेफिनेटली। अलग अलग तो होता ही है ट्रीटमेंट। मोमिन मोमिन है, बाकी काफिर का मोमिन से कोई मुकाबला थोड़ी है। कृष्णा, अब तो नास्तिक होके खुद को मोदी के विचारों से कंपेयर करता हूँ तो खुद को कट्टर हिंदू जैसा लगने लगता है। कैसे हैं ये हिंदूवादी नेता? अब तो खुद नास्तिक कहने पर शर्म आती है। हिंदू अब जो जी भी नहीं सकते चैन से। आपकी व्यथा हम समझ सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट। Isn't Nota toothless and only helps opposition? But what do you do when the party you support actually turns into opposition? Next. In Hyderabad, PM talked of Paspandas. That is good. Is he going to do anything special for them? I don't know, because if he Paspandas, he talks directly to Paspandas, it's fine. But otherwise, if he's going to talk to Sayyids, then that whole policy is going to go for a 6. Next. बॉलीवुड आ रे ये क्या हुआ, मैंने नहीं जाना, फड़नवीस आ रे बन जाएगा पार्किंग का अफसर। गुड। नेक्स्ट पेट्रियोटिक अतीश, what are your views on Dr. Rizwan Ahmed? We have done a show on him. कादियानी खिचड़ी, नहीं कादियानी हलवा है शायद। कादियानी हलवा, वो देख लीजिए ना वो। Our views have been very clear. If people collectively want to be misled and want to be under delusion, I can't help it. Next. कृष्णा, 24 में शाइनिंग इंडिया हो जाएगा बीजेपी का ऐसे ही चला तो? बिल्कुल हो सकता है, क्यों नहीं हो सकता। नेक्स्ट। कृष्ण भार्गव, सर व्हाट इज योर कनेक्शन विद कन्नड़ा? आई एम ट्राइंग टू लर्न इट। नेक्स्ट। शिरीषा पिलकोंडा जी, धन्यवाद, थैंक यू। Atul Khomane, why plastic can't be used instead of coal? Plastic is product of petroleum. I think you will have to redesign all the systems all over again. Hmm. And the systems are designed to take in coal and not plastics. I think that's too much of capital expenditure. Okay, with that, I think have we come to the end, or is there two more? Daily knowledge, was it the recipe of puncture-free world? Puncture-free world is that you use tubeless tires, and you know what the tube is. Next. GY should publish demographic split of taxpayers and subsidy takers. Its fear of sword, why leftist communism support Islamists. Oh, they first want to finish Hindus, and then settle among themselves. So, with that, we come to the end of this show. Please support us via GPay, PayTM, UPI, PayPal, JD Digital. Everything is there in the description. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.